I was so excited for this fight, guys. Not because I thought it was going to be a super competitive fight, but you never know. It's MMA. Bo Nickal fought Val Woodburn. Val Woodburn's UFC debut. Leading up to this, he was 7-0. So my first prediction for this fight was submission. I thought Bo Nickal, maybe he'll get hit with a couple nice punches with this guy, and then he'll ultimately take to the ground, submit him. That's what I thought was going to happen. I didn't think he was ever going to be in any danger, but I at least thought Val was going to like throw something at him. What's next for Bo? I'm kind of torn with this one because my original prediction was, okay, Bo's going to sub him in the first round. Like I said, maybe get hit with a couple punches, and then he'll sub him pretty quick. I thought maybe after a minute or two, but he didn't even have to wrestle this guy. The day before the fights, I was talking to my friend. I was talking about this fight, and I'm like, I don't know if Bo is going to submit this guy. I'm like, I think he's gonna TKO him. I thought he was gonna take him down and throw some nice elbows, throw some hammer fists, and TKO him. But I was thinking that he would do that rather than a submission, just because I know, just from looking at this guy, Val, he looks like he might be kind of hard to submit. He's got like a really like short neck, and not that he's like a grappling specialist or anything, because he's really not. He's a striker, which is why it's even more insane that Bo knocked him out. But I was thinking that he might be a little tougher to submit, so that's why I was thinking, okay, maybe Bo will just try to ground and pound, but he didn't even have to do that. He didn't have to take him down. It was, he made it look so easy. So it just makes me kind of wonder, is it time to step up Bo's competition? Trayshawn Gore, I don't think that fight would have gone much differently after watching that, honestly. Also, Bo is gigantic for that weight class. He's huge. So I think until he gets to like top 15, top 20, I don't think he's gonna have any issues with anybody. I think the only guy outside of the top 15 that could really give him some problems would either have to be like a really, really elite striker who has really good takedown defense, or somebody like Rodolfo Vieira, who has incredible jiu-jitsu, who maybe could try to submit him off his back. That is probably one of the worst matchups for Bo in that division, would be somebody like Rodolfo, just because of that high level jiu-jitsu that he has. I don't know, because he doesn't have great cardio compared to Bo. I think Bo probably has really good he's a wrestler. Wrestlers are known for having great cardio. I really want to see him get tested. I wouldn't be mad if Bo were to get a top 15 opponent in his next fight. I honestly wouldn't be mad about it. I know that sounds crazy because he's only 5-0, but here's what Bo has that a lot of other fighters don't have, is he has that wrestling background. He has an insanely impressive wrestling background from Penn State. I mean, we've had guys come from Penn State, like Phil Davis was a Penn State wrestler. We've had some other ones, but not a ton. And we haven't had somebody like Bo. And we saw that Bo, he can strike too. Like, he's not just a one-trick pony. He's not just somebody who's just going to take you down and submit you. He's got power too. He's got striking. So also you have to wonder, Val going into his UFC debut, having zero UFC experience, that's a huge disadvantage. Huge disadvantage. That was a huge risk for Val to take. I mean, props to him for even being brave enough to get in there with Bo, because I don't know a lot of people that are going to want to fight him after that. I think Bo is going to have a really hard time finding an opponent, so I think he's going to have to take tough fights. I think he's going to have to. I get Dana's point of like, well, we don't need to rush it. And normally I would agree with that. Normally, you guys know, if you've watched me before, you know I don't like them to rush a new prospect. But Bo Nickal is not your typical prospect. He's got that wrestling background. Honestly, I could see him running through the middleweight division, and I could see him moving up to 205. That's what I seriously think is going to happen with his career, because middleweight's not a super deep division. Not when you compare it to like lightweight, welterweight, other divisions. He's going to have a hard time with people like Adesanya, like good strikers who have like really good range. I honestly just think he's that good. I really do. And it's hard to tell, because Val, he doesn't have any UFC experience, so it's like, yeah, Bo was supposed to win that fight, but we didn't expect him to knock the guy out. I don't think hardly anybody expected that. Now, did I think there was a chance Val could win the fight? Of course. It's MMA. Anything can happen in this sport. But I knew Bo would probably get it done in the first round. I would like to see them step it up for Bo. I really would. I was thinking maybe somebody like Brendan Allen would be a good next fight for him. That might be a little too much of a step up, but I don't know. I think this guy's legit. I want to see him fight for the title within the next 2 years. That's what I think. If he keeps winning. If he keeps winning, I would like to see him fight for the title by 2025. I think that's pretty reasonable. I mean, why not? Like, why are we slowing him down? He's got it. He's got that thing. He's also like super humble. He's not like one of those big trash talker type guys, which is why I don't understand a lot of the hate towards him. But looking at the rankings, number 15 is Chris Curtis. I mean, he could fight Chris Curtis. I don't love that fight. I really want to see him against another grappler. That's why I say like Brendan Allen. But also I brought up another potential fight for him. Gerard Mearshart is fighting Andre Petroski. He was another Contender Series fighter. So, or no, not Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter. So Andre Petroski and GM3 are fighting within the next couple months at some point. I can't remember which card it's on. I think the winner of that fight, maybe for Bo, for next fight. I think that would probably be a good gauge of where he's at. I don't think the Val fight really proved much to me, except for the fact that Bo has knockout power. That's really all it proved to me, is that he has knockout power, which is great, but how is he going to do against a UFC vet? Somebody like... So here's the interesting thing about that. So GM3, he's a veteran of this sport. He's been in there with tons of guys. He's been with the Hamzat. He thought he was gonna derail the Hamzat hype train, and he didn't. I actually see a lot of similarities with Bo and Hamzat, except for I think Bo is way more professional than Hamzat. I think he's gonna have a way more successful career, honestly. But as far as like the dominance factor, I think that's where I see some similarities. I think that Andre Petroski would be a great fight for him too, because he's another wrestler. Honestly, I really do like the idea of him fighting the winner of that one, depending on kind of how the fight goes. Yeah, we'll see. But either that, and then maybe the next fight, maybe he fights Brendan Allen. I don't know. I don't know why. I really want to see him fight Brendan Allen. I think it's because Brendan Allen's got such good grappling. I just really want to see him against another grappler, and there's not a ton of grapplers in that division. So, yeah, I either want to see him against Brendan Allen or like another like Dagestan or Russian like grappler type fighter. Because it's like, if they just put him against a bunch of kickboxers, then it's not really... I don't know. I don't love that idea of him just fighting a bunch of boxers and kickboxers. I think that's kind of... That's probably what they're gonna do, but I don't like that idea. I don't know. I'd like to see him fight some grapplers. That's what I want to see. But yeah, looking at that division, I think Bo's gonna have a really great run at middleweight, and then I think he's gonna move up to 205. I don't know how he would do against somebody like Adesanya though. Like, we're talking future, obviously. Like, he's not ready for Adesanya right now. Like, if anybody says Bo is ready for a title shot, like, please stop watching MMA, because you're insane. He's not ready for a title shot, but I think he will be. I think give him 3-4 fights. Maybe he doesn't even need that much. It really is going to depend on who his next fight is, how he does in his next fight, and then who's next after that. After 2 more fights, I think that's when we're really going to be able to tell, is Bo a potential title contender? I don't know. Maybe he will be. He's definitely impressed everyone so far, and he's got incredible wrestling. And the thing is wrestling has been so effective in MMA. I think that's why I'm so much less hesitant to like see him against the top 15, just because I know how much easier it is for a dominant wrestler to win. I think in that division they need somebody like Bo. They need a really dominant wrestler, and I think he could end up really making a good run in that division, but we'll see. I don't know. It's way too soon to tell. He's got to fight. He's at least got to fight somebody with some UFC experience, in my opinion, to really be able to see. So I think he does need to be tested next. I think the level of competition he's faced so far is way below him. I think it would be silly. I mean, I've even heard people saying that he should still fight Trayshawn Gore. No, please do not make that fight happen. Please. Nobody wants to see that fight. At least I don't. I think he would run through Trayshawn Gore, honestly. Yeah, please don't. But, you know, maybe somebody like GM3 or Andre Petrosky. I think that's a perfectly good stepping stone for him to maybe then fight a top 15. I think that's great. So, I don't know, but I'm not a matchmaker, so I don't get to make any of these decisions. This is just my opinion, guys. So let me know in the comments, what do you think is next for Bo Nickal? Do you think he's ready for top 15, or do you think he should fight, you know, maybe somebody that's in the top 20, top 30? Who knows? But let me know in the comments what you guys think.
Now, but she loving the splash again. I just be cashing in her buns just like a wedding.